when you try to do it all. You can't do it all. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking about people who take on a lot. I am one of those people who take on a tremendous amount of things all at once, and I balance them really, really good. And yet, I realize that I can't do it all or be it all. Now, I have a lot of wonderful things in my life that I love. I'm an artist. I love to paint. I'm a writer. I love to write. I am a runner. I love to run. I go to the gym every day for about 2 to 3 hours, and I love that. I go to college full time, and I'm taking more than full time classes, which for me are advanced classes. And so I'm doing all that. I have a family, 3 young adult kids who live at home and go to college. I have a husband, and I make YouTube videos, and I do so much more. So can I do it all? No, I can't. Can I do a lot of it? Absolutely. I've had to tweak how I work my schedule. For example, instead of 3 hours at the gym a night, it's sometimes 1.5, no more than 2 hours at the gym. Do I do my run every day? Most days I do, but not necessarily every day because I go into college and I can't always balance both of those at the same time. And what about my family? Well, my family gets first priority. Okay, they get first priority over everything. And then, of course, my health gets first priority, taking care of me. And then my schooling, and then my painting, and then the gym. You know, so I try to balance it all, but I realize I have to tweak some of it. Some of it I can't do to the degree that I did before. I still do all of it, but maybe not to the same level or to the same degree so that I can fit everything in. Some of us who take on a tremendous amount in life can overload ourselves so easily if we're not careful. So I make sure that I'm not overloading myself, and I make sure that I give myself plenty of flexibility time and plenty of rest time. And that's very, very important because we can make a lot of mistakes if we're not rested, and rest is so essential to success. And so for me, I'm always tweaking my schedule. I'm always tweaking the way I do things, and I don't feel guilty about it. I don't feel guilty for not being able to do it all. I realize I'm doing a tremendous amount in my life, so if everything is not perfect, the things that don't require perfection, I'm good with that. For example, often we buy takeout food for dinner instead of me preparing it. We're still having dinner, but it's an easier way so that I don't have to spend all that amount of time preparing the dinner. And other times what I do is like with my workout, I kind of vary it a little bit. One night I do aerobics, one night I do the elliptical. If I'm not going to make it to the gym that day, then I go out and I do my run. I make sure I'm getting my physical fitness, but I don't try to do it all in one day anymore because I can't. I don't have the time. And so sometimes when we take on a lot, we can do a lot, we can do everything, but we have to tweak each area so that we can fit everything in. Okay, from my house to your house, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. It's okay to be out of style. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, my son and I were talking. We were talking last night about a movie, and he said, well, that's kind of out of style. And I said, you know what? sometimes it's great to be out of style. Sometimes what used to be is actually better than what is today. And even if things change and they change for the better, sometimes we don't always change with those things. And I feel like for me, I don't have to change just because the style changes. I don't always have to be up on the latest fashion, the latest car, the latest look, the latest anything. So we were actually talking about movies last night, and he said, well, this is animated, and the modern ones are animated and the ones from the past are not animated. And I said, I like the ones from the past so much better. As many of you know, I like old TV shows. I'm not much into today's television for a lot of reasons. And so maybe I'm not up with the latest fashions. Maybe I'm not up with the latest styles. Maybe I'm not up with the latest way of doing things. And for me, that's okay. I don't always feel the need to keep up with everyone, to keep up with the latest anything for that matter, as long as what I'm doing works well for me. I see people who feel like they're outdated, but truly, if they changed how they looked or changed what they were doing, maybe they wouldn't be the same person that we know and love. I believe in change. I believe in going forward. I believe in being the best us. I believe in growth. And yet sometimes I believe it's okay to stay the same, to not make a change. I used to watch a YouTube video about a lady who cooked, and her kitchen was really 1950s. It had never been updated. But you know what? Had she changed that and updated it, I don't think her videos would have had the same feel to it. So she didn't stay up to style, and for good reason. I mean, everybody felt so comfortable with her videos because it kind of took them back to simpler times. So I believe we don't always have to stay up with the latest styles. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. Why I pray. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brianne. Why I pray. I pray every day. I do. I can be out on the running trail and I can be praying, not audibly, not with my voice because I don't want people to think I'm talking to myself, but I pray. I pray to God. And I have my conversations with God. I believe in prayer. I do. I believe in prayer. I believe in praying for other people. I believe in praying for myself. And I believe in letting go and let God when I've done my very, very best and doing what I can to, create what it is that I want to create or solve what it is that I want to solve. And yet I always turn it over to God and I always ask God for guidance. And so I pray a lot. I pray in the morning and I pray at night, and sometimes I pray in between. We pray when we sit down and thank God for the food. And, a lot of people don't pray. And for me, I think that they're missing out on something because to me, prayer is so important. It's a part of my daily life. And I also listen. When I pray, I listen. I listen for God to speak to me. Now, I don't hear him with a big voice. It's something just inside of me that says, it kind of guides me. So it's prayer and then it's listening. And I also praise. I say, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the blessings that you have given me. And so, yeah. I pray, I praise, and I listen. And I think for me, it's just a very important part of my life. I hope you subscribe to my channel, and I hope to talk to you soon. May God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. When a wrong person enters the room. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brianne. Well, I get to thinking about relationships and people, right people, wrong people. Someone asked me the other day, well, who's a wrong person? How do you determine who's a wrong person? Well, in my opinion, I believe that a wrong person is anyone who disrupts something that is good, that they come to disrupt, not come to construct. They don't come to build things, they come to tear them down. And so for me, that's a wrong person in most cases. Now remember, all of this is just my own views and my own opinions on how I see life. And, everyone may have a different opinion. And so, I'm very aware of who I let in my life up close and personal. I realize that not everyone belongs in my life up close and personal. I believe that certain people belong in my life up close and personal, and some people belong at a distance, and some people belong at a lot of distance, and some people don't belong up close and personal or in my life at any level. And so I'm very aware of that. But I'm aware of people who are right for my life, people who lift me up, encourage me, who help me build, help me to be constructive. And if someone enters into someone else's relationship, let's say it's a social group, and all of us get along and all of us are in harmony, and then someone joins that group and they have a personality that is there to be destructive in some way, likely that group is all of a sudden going to have problems because a wrong person has entered the group, a wrong person has entered the room, and suddenly what was going really, really well is now being disrupted at every step of the way. That's when problems can occur in group settings, when someone enters and starts to put doubt, negative feelings, negative words into another relationship. With my friends, I take great care of my friendships, and the kind of friends that I have are people very similar to me in the way that they think, in the sense of being aware of that not all people belong up close and personal. And if I have a close relationship, say with a friend, and then we invite another friend to kind of join in the friendship, that can be a wonderful thing, because sometimes you have new energy and you have new positivity, and yet it can also be a negative thing when you've invited the wrong person, someone who's what is called a troublemaker, someone who stirs the pot, so to speak, who's always causing disharmony, always causing negativity. Then all of a sudden that great relationship that I had with that friend is now going through problems, because that third person is now putting like what I call a third voice, a negative voice. There can be good third voices, people that put in good stuff, good words, positivity into our lives. But there can also be bad third voices, people who plant doubt, who plant negativity, who plant negative suggestions, and all of a sudden everything that was flowing, everything that was going wonderful is now disrupted. We often hear about someone who had this wonderful marriage, and suddenly that marriage went bad, they broke up, they went their other ways. Often it has to do with a third voice. Someone entered into that marriage some which way, put doubt in at least one person's mind, and put negativity there, and disrupted the harmony and continuity. That's why I've always been very guarded and protected of my marriage, in a good, positive way. And we have friends, but we just don't bring anyone into our friendships. We're very careful. Growing up, my children, I was always very aware of who their friends were, because I realized that their friends had sometimes more power over them suggestion-wise than even I did. So I wanted them to have the right friends that was going to plant in good thoughts in their life and not take them down a wrong road. And my kids came out great. And it can be that way on a job. You can have this wonderful office environment, and then someone new comes in who stirs the pot, who creates havoc, who creates disharmony, and all of a sudden everyone is bickering in the office and things are going downhill. So for me personally, I'm very aware of who I bring into my life, because a wrong third voice, a wrong person entering into the room can really disrupt the harmony of that room. Well, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to talk to you soon. From my house to your house, God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Be careful of your words. You cannot take your words back. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, some people are so loose with their words. They just say anything that comes out of their mouth and then they go, oops, I shouldn't have said that. But often we can't take our words back. We can apologize. We can try to fix things. But some people make a mess with their words. I believe in being very selective in the words that we put out of our mouth, that we talk out of our mouth. Not everything that we're thinking should we even say. Not everything that's truthful should we even necessarily say. I don't believe in lying or anything like that, but I do believe that not all the time should we say just what's on our mind, true or not true. And some people are just spewing out opinions that are filled with inaccuracy. I believe that we have to be very, very careful with what we say, for if we say it, we can't often take it back. From my house to yours, may God bless you. I'll talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. When positive thinking is negative. When positive thinking is negative. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, we are having a slightly rainy day today, so no 5-mile run for me. Not that the rain bothers me to run, but I have to go into my college class anyhow. So I have about an hour drive and then an hour home. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about when negative thinking doesn't work to when positive thinking doesn't work to our advantage. And by that I mean is, well, you know, I'm an optimist. I believe in putting a positive spin on things, regardless if at all possible. And yet there are times that I don't do that. There are times that I recognize the negative in a situation. I believe that there are two kinds of optimists, and I've talked about this before. There is the smart optimist, and then there is the foolish optimist. The foolish optimist denies the reality of the negative, whereas a smart optimist does not deny the reality of the negative. They acknowledge the negative, and then they try to work in a positive way with the negative to create positive results. So whereas a foolish optimist does not do that, they just say, oh no, it's not going to rain today. It's not going to rain today. So they don't carry an umbrella, and then they end up getting soaked because they refused to deny the reality that it was going to rain today. Whereas a positive optimist, that was a negative optimist. A positive optimist is somebody who is a person who will who acknowledges the negative side of life. So they will say, hey, it's going to rain today, so I am going to put a positive spin on it. I'm going to carry an umbrella. So they carry an umbrella and they don't get wet. So they have not denied the reality of the rain going to happen today, just like it is today. And so I don't deny the reality of the rain. So as a positive optimist, as a smart optimist, not a foolish optimist, as a smart optimist, I'm carrying an umbrella today when I go to college. Okay, so I'm taking what we would call negative circumstances, the rain, which really are not negative. I love rain, but I'm just using it as an example. And we are putting a positive spin on it. We are taking an umbrella so we don't get wet. Whereas a foolish optimist would say, no, it's just not going to rain. I'm not going to carry an umbrella because I want to be positive. And so they're denying the negative. They're denying the rain. And so they get soaked. And so there is a big difference. I believe in acknowledging the negative side of life. I believe in understanding it so that I can embrace it in the sense that I can either correct it, I can navigate around it, but if I have to navigate through it, that I am prepared in every way possible to navigate through it, to get to the other side, to the successes that I want. Because there are negatives in life. There are realities in life that, and to deny those realities, to deny the negatives in life often will set us up for failure. But acknowledging the negatives and working around those negatives in a positive way can often set us up for success. So there's a smart optimist and there's a foolish optimist. And I believe in understanding and acknowledging the negative side of life in whatever area it happens to be. It could be in relationships, it could be on a job, it could be in a social situation, it could be with a person, it could be with, your car. Maybe your car needs new tires. So in a sense, there's a negative there and you need to go get new tires for that car. To deny that your car needs new tires, well, you may end up with a flat tire. And so there's a positive and there's a positive way at looking at the negative. So we want to acknowledge the negative and find a way to navigate through it, around it, or completely avoid it altogether. Whereas a foolish optimist often gets right in the middle of the negative, unprepared for it, and they don't know what to do when it happens. So I believe in being an optimist. I am an optimist, but I am a smart optimist who acknowledges the realities of the world so that I can learn to navigate around those negatives so that I can get to where I want to go. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. You deserve to be loved and treated wonderful. You deserve to be loved and treated wonderful. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brianne, and we are having a rainy, rainy day out here today. I'm going to let you take a look at it. We are having rain, and it just started. I was going out for my 5-mile run in between all of my college schoolwork, which most of you know. I've gone back to college at age 62 and taking more than full-time classes, and some of them are more advanced for me. And so I have a lot of work, and I'm doing wonderful, but it takes up a lot of my time. And so I try to go out for my 5-mile run. I try to work out at the gym. Of course, I have my beautiful family, and I make my videos. Do what you love. I do what I love. I paint. I'm an artist. I write. I do so many things that I love. I collect antiques. I love to do all those things. Anyhow, I got to thinking about you deserve to be loved, and you deserve to have people treat you with respect and be wonderful to you. I got a comment the other night, and someone said that they felt like they weren't loved by people and that people kind of mistreated them for the way they looked and all of that. And I just replied back to them that you deserve to be loved, because we all deserve to be loved. We don't have to be picture perfect, so to speak, to be worthy of being loved. We don't have to be a perfect person to be worthy of being loved. I believe that God wants us all to be loved by other people and to be loving. Often people who are unloving want to be loved, but they're not loving. I've always given love out to the world. I've always given kindness and generosity out to the world, and I've received it back. Have I received nasty people too in my life? Of course, who hasn't? And yet I get away from those kinds of people as quickly as I can, and I focus on the good people out there, the people who treat me with respect and kindness and love, whether it's on a job, whether it's in my personal relationships, whether it's the neighbor down the street, whether it's at church. I expect to be treated right and with respect. I don't demand it. I just expect it. And if someone doesn't give it to me, I don't try to demand it. I just get away from that person if at all possible, because, well, they obviously don't feel so good about themselves. And if they think they can not be nice to me, well, I don't want to be part of a relationship with them. I only want to surround myself with people who are going going to love and embrace and care about me. And so because I surround myself with people that I can love and care and be kind to, because that's what life's about. It's about our relationships, and we want great relationships. And so we do deserve to be loved. We do deserve to be cared about. We do deserve to be thought about in great ways. And so I expect that out of my life, and I get that from my life. And anyone that doesn't treat me right, I let them know they're not treating me right. I do it in a right way, a kind way, a polite way. And then if they don't change that behavior, I tend to back up quite a ways from them until I get to a place that I'm comfortable. And sometimes that means not even being around them at all. Other times it means backing off to the point where they now value the relationship and they understand that I expect to be treated right. And yet I treat them right. I treat everybody around me right and correct, because we all deserve to be loved and cared about, okay? Well, we are having this wonderful rainy day, and I'm enjoying it. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day as well. May God bless you. I hope for you to be happy and follow your dreams if they're right for your life. And I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel here. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. So from my house to your house, may God bless you. And I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. Wrong advice. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, there is so much information out there, and a lot of it is wrong. There is so many people that give so much advice, and a lot of times they're wrong. Even well-meaning advice can be wrong. Even informed advice can be wrong. You know, I believe that everybody's situations are different. Everyone is different. And no two people are exactly alike. And so no two problems are exactly alike, in my opinion. They may be similar, but not exactly alike. And so I believe that we have to be very, very careful what suggestions we act upon, and what advice we act upon, and what information we act upon. Remember, even information that is faulty can sometimes have enough accuracy to it that it makes it appear that it's completely accurate. You know, often accuracy is filled and surrounded by inaccuracy, and often inaccuracy is surrounded by accuracy. So we want to get as close to, if not 100% accurate information, accurate suggestions, and accurate advice. You know, I often listen to well-meaning advice, and yet I'm very, very careful if I decide to act upon well-meaning advice, because I want to make sure that it's truly right for me. What may have worked well for one person may not work well for another person, and I got that. And so I'm very careful about the information I take in, about the advice I take in, about the suggestions I take in, because not everything is accurate and not everything is right for my life. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. Working with what you already have. Work with what you've got. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I got to thinking today about working with what you already have. So often people are striving for more, without paying attention and maximizing what they already have. I've often seen people with a full closet of clothes, many which had never been worn, and yet they're out buying more clothes rather than maximize what they've already got. Sometimes people get themselves in debt because they're striving for more and more and more before they're quite ready financially for it. Often, we already have in our lives everything that we need to create a wonderful future as well as a wonderful present. I believe in taking a look at what we already have and working with what we already have to the best of our ability. Often people will go out and buy more groceries when they already have many things in their refrigerator that they need to use up first. I believe in looking at our relationships. Sometimes people say, well, I'm just going to throw away these relationships because they're not working. But maybe they're not working because the person's not investing the right kind of energy into those relationships. Often relationships are working perfectly in the beginning because we're investing time and energy to make them that way. But at some point we become complacent and we begin to look elsewhere and we quit maximizing those relationships by investing in them, and then they head south. Whereas sometimes all it takes is for us just to renew those relationships by putting in new energy, new fresh energy, working with what we have. I'm a firm believer in utilizing what I have, working with what I have, rather than constantly seeking more and more and more. I'm all about more, and yet I'm all about working with what I have first. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. You can't please everybody. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. And I got to thinking about we can't please everybody. And if we keep trying to please everybody, we're probably going to get frazzled and worn out. When I get up and I get going in life, I make sure the person I'm pleasing is myself. Am I happy with what I'm doing? Then comes the people that I love and that mean the most in my life. Are they happy with what I'm doing? And then comes other people. But I know that in the midst of everything and everyone, I'm not going to please everyone. Not everyone is going to like me. Not everyone is going to like what I do. When we go here on YouTube and we put out a video, most of the time I get all these wonderful likes. But now and then, for some unknown reason, I get maybe a not like. Is that right? A not like? I don't know what it's called. An unlike. And I go, wow, I wonder why they gave that to me, But then I don't let it go any further because I realize you can't please everyone. Not everyone likes vanilla ice cream. Not everyone likes chocolate ice cream. You can't please everyone. Some people only like strawberry. Some people don't even like ice cream. So in life, when we realize that we're not going to be able to please everyone that we come in contact with, I think we can chill out a little bit. We can relax a little bit. We can say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to please everyone, but it is nice when I please someone or I please a lot of people. So when I put videos out, I put them out in hoping that, people will enjoy them and get something from them. And yet I realize that some people won't. And that's okay. I'm good with that. Because we're not going to be able to please everyone. Not everyone is going to love us or even like us, because sometimes people don't even like themselves. So how are they really going to like someone else when they don't even like themselves? Some people just go around to criticize. Some people, that's all they do. They look for the bad in others. They don't look for the good. They look for the bad. And so if we base our lives on that one unlike, we're going to be disappointed probably quite often, because there's always going to be someone who's not satisfied with what you do, in most cases, I believe. And so, if we cook dinner, I even know sometimes, like, I'll cook a really nice dinner, and I have 3 young adult kids, and usually one of my kids won't like what I cooked, and the other 2 will love what I cooked. So the next night I'll cook what the one loves to eat, and then the other 2 won't necessarily like what I cooked. And so I realized I can't always please everybody all of the time, and I'm good with that. I just try to please myself, and I try to please the people that I love the most, and then I kind of work outward and hope for the best. And so remember, don't overwhelm yourself with trying to please everyone. Please yourself and please the important people in your life. Well, I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. From my house to yours, God bless you. May God bless you, and I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye. You are enough. You are enough. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I got to thinking about you are enough. And by that I mean so many people think that they're not enough, that they don't measure up, that they're not good enough for a great relationship, that they're not good enough for a great job, that they're not good enough for great friends, they're not good enough for financial success, they don't feel good enough. Well, I'm here to tell you that you are good enough. You are good enough for all the things that you dream of. So many people just don't think they're good enough, so they don't go for their dreams. They don't go for the right relationships. Instead, they go for the wrong relationships. They go for wrong choices because, well, they feel that that's all they deserve is wrong choices, are wrong choices. But the truth is they deserve right choices. We get what we believe. And if we believe that we only deserve wrong choices, that's what we're probably going to get. We're going to get the bottom of the barrel in life. But if we believe that we are enough to get what we want. We are loving enough to get love and to receive love. Great love, wonderful love, healthy love. We are enough to make a success for our lives, to get ourselves unstuck and back onto the road of life through new choices and decisions that are good choices and decisions, great choices and decisions, not mediocre choices and decisions or lousy choices and decisions. So often people think, well, I only deserve mediocre. I don't deserve the best in life. I just deserve whatever life throws at me. And so they wait for what life throws at them rather than getting out there and creating a wonderful life for themselves through right choices. So often people pick the bottom of the barrel choices rather than the cream at the top. I believe in going for the best. Yes, we may get rejected time and time again. We may get rejected some of the time, or we may not get rejected at all. Sometimes life is like a numbers game. The more we're out there trying for what we want, the more likely we are to get it. But if we never try for what we want, we're likely never to get it. I go for what I want in life. Sometimes it's a steep climb. Sometimes you got to do the work. Sometimes the easy way out just gets us the bottom of the barrel. Sometimes it takes work and discipline and positive energy and believing that you are enough to create the life that you want. I believe that we are enough. We are enough to make right choices, not wrong choices. We are enough to choose off the menu of life that is positive and great things, not from the menu that gives us lousy choices. You are enough. I am enough to have a happy life. From my house to yours, may God bless you. You are enough. I'll talk to you all soon again. Bye-bye. decisions will catch up with you. You know, some people just consistently make wrong decisions, and they do it by choice. They know they're wrong decisions, but they're getting immediate gratification from that wrong decision. And yet, what I believe is that people who make one wrong decision after the other, those decisions are likely to catch up with them at some point. If we make bad health choices each and every day, whether it's bad habits or what we're eating or not, exercising or not getting enough rest or enough of whatever we need, likely that's going to catch up with us in a way that we probably don't want. And the same way, if we're habitual spenders and we're not bringing in the right amount that we are putting out, that's going to catch up. If we have bad habits, if we're negative around people, if we gossip, whatever the habit may be that's negative, that is likely to catch up. If we are people that stir the pot, I'm none of these things, by the way. I'm just saying if we are, meaning whoever happens to be doing these things, is going to catch up. So we have to remember that our choices and decisions, good or bad, are going to catch up with us. And that's why it's so important to be cognizant of our little choices and our big choices in life, because choices do catch up with us. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Reckless people, reckless habits, reckless words, reckless relationships, reckless eating. Don't live a reckless lifestyle. Reckless habits, reckless words, reckless relationships, reckless behaviors. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. I woke up this morning, and for some reason, one of my first thoughts was about people who lead reckless lives. And, reckless lives can come in any form. They can be specific or they can be general. And so I believe in taking a look at our lives, taking a look at our habits, taking a look at the words we speak. Some people are reckless with their words. They just spew any kind of words out, and many of those words are inaccurate or they can be hurtful. And often people have reckless habits, health habits. I got to really thinking about what we eat. So many people don't even think before they eat. They don't think about what they're putting into their body. They just recklessly throw anything in their body. They just, without even thinking about it, they don't even sometimes think, I don't even think that they realize that they're even eating. They just do it out of habit. They pick up whatever happens to be available rather than the right kind of foods for their body. And I think, in my opinion, that's kind of reckless behavior, reckless eating. And often people can have health problems due to what they eat, from my understanding. And so I want to make healthy choices. I don't want to make reckless choices. I don't want to have reckless words that hurt other people or misinform other people. I don't want to have reckless relationships that are filled with pandemonium and chaos and negativity. I don't want to make reckless choices, reckless decisions, or have reckless habits. Some people have reckless spending habits. They just spend money that they don't have and probably will not have. They're reckless with their spending. People often can be reckless with their relationships. They don't take care of their relationships. They mistreat their relationships. Some people just lead reckless lives in all areas of their life or in specific areas of their life. So for me, I take a very close look at my life to make sure that I'm not leading a reckless life in any area. That when I sit down at the dinner table or throughout the day, that I'm very cognizant of what I'm eating and putting into my body, that it's healthy for me. I'm very cognizant when I'm talking to friends or family or my husband or my kids or a relative or whomever, that I'm using correct words, words that will uplift, not put them down. I believe it's so important in how I spend, that I'm not recklessly spending that jeopardizes my future, that I'm making good decisions. I believe that my habits should be good habits. Am I just laying around watching TV all day and playing mindless computer games? Or am I out there taking care of my body or being constructive in other ways? Some people just have reckless habits. They waste their time on stuff that gives them back nothing positive in the long run. And so for me, I take a look at my habits. I take a look at everything that I do to make sure that it's not reckless, that it's correct, and that it's right, and that it's putting me in the right direction. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. When your schedule changes, when life changes on you. Well, I got to thinking today about when life changes. For me, I went back to school at age 62 last semester, and I'm taking more than full-time classes. So I'm taking a very heavy load of classes. I did that by choice. I love it. It's great, but it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of focus, and it's a lot of traveling back and forth to the college. And so for me, my life has changed. I've had to change how I do my everyday life, my schedule. Well, for example, normally I work out 3 hours in the evening at the gym every day. And at 62 years old, yes, I do, and a 5-mile run in the morning. But now that's kind of changed. I still work out probably 6 out of 7 days a week, but it's probably most of the time about 2 hours. And my daily run is usually in place most days, but not every day. So I've had to make room for me going back to school. So I had to rearrange my schedule. I've had to tweak it. And, I think that's very normal when we add something to our lives. Sometimes other things have to be reduced a little bit or refined or tweaked or something like that. And I still get a great daily workout. I work out more than most people do, so that's not an issue. It's just that I had to rearrange my schedule. Even now, we're more structured what time we have dinner so that I will be available and everybody will be available at the dinner table. And even cooking is sometimes we get takeout now versus cooking at home. Although I love to cook and I cook healthy foods. And so sometimes we have to change our schedules when our lives change a little bit. It's just the way it is. And so I've had to change my schedule in a lot of different areas, and I can't do all the things that I did before. I can do some of them, and some of them that I do is kind of not to the degree that I did them before, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to fit something new in, and it means we just have to kind of tweak our daily schedules. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you all soon again. And I hope you subscribe to my channel here. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. What do you do when you've made a mess of things? You clean it up. When you have made a mess of things. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and I got to thinking today about when you've made a mess of life, when you've made a mess of a situation, what do? You clean it up, is what you do, to the best of your ability. Some people have, in their lives, and I think most of us can kind of relate to at least a situation or two in life along the way where we've made a mess of things. And whether we purposefully did it or did it by mistake or whatever, or being just careless. But people can sometimes make a mess of things at their job, in a relationship, financially, with their health habits, all kinds of mistakes in life. So what do? You clean it up. So sometimes cleaning it up is not always easy. Sometimes we've got to go back and we've got to apologize to people. Whether they accept the apology or not is not our concern as much as it is that we apologize. We've done our part. If they want to do their part and forgive us for something that we've messed up on, then that is wonderful. But if not, it doesn't really affect our lives because we have apologized. We've done our part, and being sincere in the apology is most important, because an insincere apology doesn't really count. So we back up a sincere apology with change. That's the first part. And so when we make change, it can be a process, a journey in and of itself to correct a situation that we've messed up in. Sometimes we can't fully correct it. Sometimes we can't take back the words that we said, or we can't take back what happened, or what was, what we did. Even though we made a mess of things, we still, to the best of our ability, clean it up, and then we move on in the best way possible. Perhaps we'll move on in the same situation and we'll do well. Perhaps we won't be able to move on in the same situation, and the situation that we move on has to change. And, that can be the result of having messed up in life. I mean, if we messed up on a job and didn't show up on time, and we're sloppy at our work and we got fired, there might not be a lot that we can do about getting that job back, even though we may have apologized. And so sometimes we have to move on and find a new job and have learned from our mistakes. And sometimes you can't clean up that mess entirely, but you do the best you can, and then you move on. You don't let your mistakes hold you back. You let your mistakes push you forward in a positive way. And so what happens if a mistake kind of travels along with you in life? And sometimes that does. Some people make big enough mistakes that, they can't get out of that mistake entirely. They clean their life up, they've changed, they're moving forward, and yet they carry what they did with them in some way. Well, if that happens, we have to remember that God will meet us right where we are at. And sometimes our original purpose has changed, and now we have a new purpose, a new purpose in life that sort of is a result of that mistake. And we go forward with that. And a lot of times people will learn from a mistake, and then they will share and teach it to others so that they don't make the mistake, or they can comfort a person who has made the mistake and let them know that they're not alone in what they did. People do make mistakes, and people do mess up in life. It's just a reality of life. The important thing is to sincerely apologize, release it, clean it up, and move forward in the most positive way, whether you're moving forward in that situation or whether you have to create an entirely new situation to move forward in. But do clean up your mess, and don't expect other people to clean it up for you. That's part of the healing process, and that's part of the, kind of making amends process, is that we clean it up ourselves, because we never really learn if other people clean it up for us. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye. When we feel ignored. When we feel ignored. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne, and we are having this wonderful day out here today. It's a little bit gray, and yet it's great for a 5-mile run, which you all know at 62 years old, which I am. I love to go for a 5-mile run, and so I have a lot of schoolwork, college work that I'm working on. As you all know, I went back to college at age 62, and I've got tons of homework, and I work out every day at the gym, and I have a family, and we have sit-down dinners, and I have all the projects my kids are working on. They're young adult kids who go to college, and life is busy, 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 but it's productive and wonderful, and I feel so very, very blessed. You know, I even feel blessed when I have to do the laundry, because I feel like, thank the Lord, I have a washer and dryer, and I have clothes, and I have the detergent to use, and all of that good stuff. And I feel very blessed to go to the grocery store. You know, when I was little, we were kind of poor. We were poor. And we had to go get commodity boxes way before food stamps at the courthouse steps. And they gave you flour and milk and eggs. And I was so grateful for those boxes. As a 5-year-old child, I used to walk with my mother and carry those boxes down the courthouse steps into our old car that often only ran in reverse, and we would have to drive in reverse through the town. But that's a whole nother video that I've made, so you have to go look for those videos behind my videos. And anyhow, I really got to thinking about what did I get to thinking about? I just have so many wonderful, amazing subjects to talk about. When we feel ignored. You know, I talk about so many subjects. Sometimes I have, if I don't have my paper right next to me, what I wrote down, I have to think about it. When we feel ignored. Well, you know, in life, we can all feel ignored. We can all feel that feeling of being ignored. But often it's our own illusion or delusion or mistake, because most people are just preoccupied with their lives. They're busy. They have other agendas, and they don't mean to ignore us. And yet, on the other hand, if we're repetitively ignored by one person or a group of people, often it's because they have their own agenda. Maybe we don't fit in with their agenda. And often other people don't fit in with our agenda, and even though we may be polite and nice, we move on. I don't fit in with everyone's agenda, and it doesn't mean that I'm ignoring them. It's just that I'm being polite and nice, and then I move on. But other people are not necessarily as nice and polite as I am, and so sometimes they just ignore people, and they're not really people that really take to heart another person's feelings. And so if I feel that I'm being ignored, first of all, I assess it. Is this really being ignored, or is the other person just busy? Are they talking to someone else? Are they preoccupied? But if someone's truly ignoring me, or say I get into a social group and I feel ignored in that group, I just move on. Not all places are right for me. If that place is right for me and I'm feeling it ignored by, let's say, coworkers, well, I just go and I do my job anyhow, and I'm pleasant and professional and nice, and you know, I let people come to me, and I always extend myself as well, and yet I also wait. You know, even though I may extend myself, I wait for them to reciprocate, and if they don't reciprocate, I'm fine with that. I just move on. I don't feel offended, because I know that I'm not going to connect with everyone that I meet, and that's okay. I don't have to connect with everyone that I meet out there in the world. And so some people think, oh my gosh, I'm rejected, this is terrible. It's not the end of the world. We're all rejected, so to speak, and it's really not rejection. It's just that some people have a different agenda than we do. Maybe they don't feel like they have anything in common. Sometimes it can even be a little bit of jealousy. Unfortunately, I remember when I was younger, I wasn't invited to a party, and I felt so rejected. And my mom said to me, she said, you know what, they're just jealous. And I thought, oh, Mom, you're just saying that just to make me feel better, and you're my mom, and I love her for that. And yet, it turned out to be very, very true, because one of the girls told me later they didn't want me there because, well, some of the cute guys would look at me. Of course, this is a long time ago. I was never a jealous person. I never thought like that, so that didn't enter my mind. But that's usually an exception to the situation. I think most people are just busy and preoccupied, and so I leave it at that. And even if they truly are ignoring me, I'm okay with that. That's their agenda and their choice, and I just simply politely, kindly move on. Well, anyhow, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day, week, weekend, whatever it happens to be for you when you're watching this video. You know, I come on here daily, and I usually come on with a couple different videos. Other times I have to skip a day or two because, well, I'm busy. I have a very, very busy and productive life. But I do try to come on here because my channel is about inspiring people to live their best lives. I never give suggestions. I never give advice. I never give answers. I just explain to you all how I see life and how I live my life. This is how I live my life. What I'm sharing with you each and every day is basically my perspective on life and how I live my life. And so I try to think the best of people, although I'm aware of the bad in people. I still try to think the best of people while, you know, protecting myself and being guarded against the negative side of some people, not all people, but some people. And I think most people are genuinely good at heart, and those are the people I seek out for friendship. Well, from my house to yours, from my day to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again, and I hope you subscribe to my channel. Talk to you then. Bye-bye. Something moves from front and center. Hello, you all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I'm cooking here on the stove. So if you hear something bubbling in the background, that's what I'm doing. So what happens when you do something regularly and then because something else now you're focused on moves to the sidelines? Well, I think it depends on what it is. If it's an important relationship and we kind of push that to the sidelines, we need to be more observant because our important relationships take our time and focus regardless of how long we've been in them. And yet there are times that we have to put some things more to the side. We do maintenance on them and so that we can focus on something new. You know, I'm an artist, I'm a painter, I'm a writer, I'm a runner, I go to the gym every day, and I'm a college student. I have a lot of things that I'm balancing, and it depends on what needs my focus the most that I give my focus to, generally speaking. So sometimes some of the other things have to be reduced or put to the side momentarily so that I can focus on the new goal or what needs to take priority at that moment. Some things take more priority. Now, I still paint all the time. I love to paint. Like I said, I'm an artist. It's very important for me to paint. And yet, I'm very focused on going to college. My college work has to take priority over my art work. And so for me, that's what I do. You know, I give priority to my schoolwork first and then to my art. And I also work out. So that has to fit in there too. And of course, I have a family and they're number one. They get number one priority, and my health gets number one. And so, you know, sometimes we have to switch things around. Sometimes we have to move things back a little bit, not do them as much so that we can focus on something else. But we want to make sure that when we move it back, if it's something important in our lives, that we're giving it the right amount of attention that it needs. From my house to yours, may God bless you, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.